Welcome, friends and listeners. This is interview number 2 of podcast 115, the War of Zek-Cast. Dun, dun, dun. What does he say, Kyle? Can you?
What does who say?
War Zek.
Only the dead have seen the end of war.
Ooh. All right, so I have Kyle Vallee, the GD2 Heroic Encounters guy, and Paul, say your
Cronin
Molina, the GD2 lore guy. So hi, guys.
Hello.
Do we need titles?
Yes, that's my next question. So we know what the team and maybe the community call you, but what's your official titles? What does it say on your business cards or an Outlook?
I am a content designer.
Content designer?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I am. Content designer.
Content designer. All right. So let's hear your story. How did you guys get into the video game industry? Kyle, you want to start?
Oh, it's a long story. Too long to tell on this.
We've been in here before, so we may have heard a little bit of it.
August 7th was my 10 years, so I've been here 10 years.
Woohoo!
Yeah. It was happenstance, I guess is the best way to describe it. But, I actually came here just to be a GM for something to do at the time.
Hobby.
Well, I knew Michelle and Jeff Butler from playing Magic the Gathering and selling Magic cards, and I ended up coming here for in between something and got the idea that I wanted to be a designer and worked my way towards that. Awesome.
And Paul, this is your first time in the podcast
Yes, it is.
realm. How did you get here? How did you get in the gaming industry?
I was a huge nerd. And
well, you're in good company.
Well, yeah, but I got brought in because I'd been playing D&D for like 20 years. This was at Sigil, so I was working for, or I was interviewing at Sigil for Vanguard at the time. Okay. And they brought me in as a quest designer because I had a lot of experience playing D&D as a dungeon master and as a player, and they needed somebody to do quests. And at the time, I'd been running a campaign for like 8 years, and they brought me in. And so that's how it started. Also was the end of me running my campaign. So thanks, video games, for killing my D&D time.
Yeah, work does that. Kind of kills your play style a little.
It does.
All right. So now that we know a little bit about you, let's get into the meat of why we're here. Game update 61, the War of Zek. It launches Tuesday, August 23rd.
So they tell me.
That's
what they're
the
saying.
big hope, right?
There's no panic there. We're good.
I'm not working that day. I'm going to stay home and play.
Yeah.
I think the dwarf's not listening out there, is she? No. All right. So, signature quest line in Vallee.
Yeah.
Who's it?
That's me.
That's Paul?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that.
So, this is going to be the final 2 parts of the signature line.
Okay.
The first part is basically going to carry off from where the last part left off. You're going to, once again, work with Alcabor and Eris Delvive. You're going to get to meet the 3 deities, Sullen, Talon, and Valen.
Ooh.
And facilitate what will finally be the final confrontation with Zek. Then the final piece of the signature line is actually going to take place in the raid version of the Plane of War. So originally we were going to have it so that you would fight like a more groupable, but there was just no way to do that. Like if you're going to fight Zek and if you're going to facilitate the end of Zek, then you need to fight him. And so the last piece of this will take place in the end of war, and that, or the Plane of War, and that's when you will actually participate in the confrontation with Zek.
Wow.
Yeah, it should be pretty good. We're really, so far, we're pretty happy with the way that the whole encounter has turned out too.
So that video we were just watching, that's it, right? That's the end? Kyle?
It's part of the scripted event for the final chapter of Destiny of Vallee. Yeah, well, or at least of the current part. I mean, technically it's only a third of the way done.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but that's what you were watching as part of the big event with Ralos and the 3 demis, Talon, Valen, and Sullen. So yeah.
Very cool.
Most of this stuff I think people already know it's happening and through the quest line and the signature series and stuff like that.
Okay.
You should tell everyone where to start the signature line so that they can go start the signature
you'll
line.
pick it up from Alcabor. So, or from, he'll have it in Thurgaden. So, the same place that we've been working with the duality in the past few updates for the signature line, he's still there. So, just if you've completed the 5th part of the signature line, just go back and speak to him again, and he'll give you the next part.
Okay. So, the Plane of War. That's you, Kyle, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is brand new. The Plane
Yeah,
of War
it's a brand new, never before seen awesome zone. It's not a shard, it's a plane. It's the actual Plane of War. You're actually encountering the god Ralos Zek. You're not encountering an avatar. You're encountering the real deal.
Scary.
And we're moving forward, taking steps to make sure that that's really going to sink home, sink in that you're actually in the Plane of War, and you're actually gonna encounter a god.
Fire, brimstone.
Yeah, true god. The snow avatar.
Yes,
the true god.
Yeah.
The true god.
Ooh, scary. What else can you tell us more about the Plane of War? What they will encounter there? What's the terrain like?
The Plane of War is going to be accessible through the Fortress of Drunder.
Okay.
And the plane, it's basically a very desolate, barren, fiery, like Paul said, brimstone. It has some really cool features that you'll have to see because I'm not going to give those away.
All right, no spoilers.
But,
okay.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. It's a lot bigger than people are used to for this kind of thing. So.
Okay. All right. So, also with this update, we're getting a little bit of a prelude event with the new race class.
Yeah,
the Beast Lords. The first quest. So that's you, Paul.
That's me.
What can you tell us about that?
So this first part of the prelude is basically picking up sort of from where the Mystic Epic quest left off. So if you're a Mystic and you ran through it, a lot of this will be familiar for you. If you haven't and you're a lore junkie, then go through, perhaps read some of that. That'll give you a little bit of background as to what's taking place. But I'm trying to make sure that if you don't do any of that, and if you're just coming in fresh to do it, that you get enough of a background, you have some idea what's going on.
Okay.
So this is basically going to be just sort of the introduction to what the Beast Lords are at their base. And then in the next one, you'll actually start helping to bring back the Beast Lords as a class to Norath. And a lot of that will start being explained in this one and then concluded in the next one. So you're going to get the first piece on the release of 61.
Okay.
And then the second piece will be about midway through. So you're going to get both pieces in 61.
Okay. Just the first one and then a little bit later.
Yeah, a little bit later.
All right. Anything else you guys can tell us about Update 61?
Not getting a lot of sleep.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
There's also going to be a heroic version of the Plane of War. It's not a full version of the Plane of War. It's just basically set up to give people, non-raiders or people who do heroic content a chance to see the Plane of War and see Ralos Zek and see the cool new War Wraiths, which is a new model we have, and a bunch of other stuff that they wouldn't get to see unless they were raiding. So
it's a bit of a teaser.
Yeah, it's you're confined to one area, but you get to see a lot of cool stuff, and we set it up so that you can see the entire plane and
nice, very nice.
The neat, awesome features of the plane.
That's way cool. All right. So I know you're not getting a lot of sleep. You're working really hard, but are you getting any chance to play video games, play some EQ2?
Go ahead.
I've been playing Torchlight, which is, I don't know if you know what it is, but it's like a fancier, more colorful, cartoony Diablo 2.
Okay.
So, and it's just kind of mindless and, that kind of thing. So
stress relief?
Yeah. So that's been really good. I've been enjoying that. And that's about it for me.
I know before we came in here, I was trying to recruit Paul to my guild. So.
Yeah. Tell everyone your character name and what server you play
No,
on,
I wasn't
Paul.
going to do that.
Do that right now.
I wasn't going to do that.
No.
What are you playing right now?
I don't play games. Those are for nerds.
But you said you were a nerd.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm too busy clubbing and playing sports.
Robin, rewind.
All right. So, I still play a lot of Street Fighter 4.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody wants to play, I'm happy to take on challengers, but you'll fall to my Adon, so don't bother.
Oh.
There you go.
I also like to play a lot of Burnout, Paradise. I think that I still play that. I know it's been out for years, but I enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm playing Demon Souls. I just finished Arkham Asylum and Infamous 2.
Okay.
And
Dang, you're playing a lot of stuff.
yeah, I lied about the not being a nerd thing. And then, of course, I play an unhealthy amount of Pokemon. So there's that as well. I have to sort of admit to that.
He's a super nerd.
Oh, I'm a super nerd.
Yeah, but that's why we love him.
That's why we love him. So, yeah, that's about it.
Cool. Awesome.
That's great. I'm playing one game. Paul's like, oh, I'm playing.
Yeah, you know what?
17
I go home
different things.
and I sit in my apartment by myself and play games. Thanks for reminding me of my loneliness.
Oh, goodness gracious. We better wrap this up. So before we sign off, is there anything you guys need to let the listeners know?
Oh, if you want to start the Beastlord Preludes, there are two. There's one for good and one for evil, and they both sort of tell a little bit. They tell the same story, but I try to do it from two different perspectives.
Gotcha.
So the good one starts in Antonica, right outside of the North Freeport Gate. If you just go down the...
Freeport?
Oh, did I say Freeport? The North Kinos Gate, and then she's right outside the bridge.
Okay.
And then Elman starts the evil line, and he's outside the gate to Freeport, out in Common Lands.
That time you got it right.
Yeah. It was 50-50. Eventually I'd get it right.
Anything for you, Kyle?
Oh yeah. So one of the other things we did is we did 2 dynamic dungeons. We did 2 Sinking Sands dungeons. Well, Silent City, the Delving Dead, and Sbaran's Palace, which is actually it's a instance of the Gen Master's Prism. So it was a zone that a lot of people didn't get to see. That they'll be able to get to see. These zones are more sideways content. They're meant for everybody. They scale, and they scale properly from 60 to 90. We actually, as a team, ran them at level 60 to make sure that they were completely fun and doable. And they're more like I said, for everybody. So they're not super challenging like Drunder. They're more fun and cool stuff, and the dynamic thing about them is they each have different population sets. For instance, Silent City has 15 data sets, so you can literally go in every time, and the population can be different. So the trash mobs will change. You know, you'll see different guys in different areas, and I don't mean like the same guy spawns in a different area. I mean, you'll go in one time and there'll be mummies, and then the next time there'll be ghosts, and then the next time there'll be
orcs, goblins,
gelatinous cubes, and then stuff like
cool.
that. And they're meant to be more just straightforward, fun content for everybody. And like I said, we played them at level 60 because we had a problem in the Shadow Odyssey where some of the dungeons didn't scale so well, and some of the level 50 versions were actually kind of challenging. So we took 6 average people and ran through them, and were able to finish the zones. So it was really cool. And there's lots of new, fun, colorful stuff in there. And Silent City has a new boss that no one's ever seen before. He's a new guy, so...
New guy.
Yeah, he's really cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Awesome.
So, dynamic dungeons, yeah, those are also going in besides
the other things we spoke about.
The other stuff we spoke about.
Way awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming in here. I really appreciate learning all about Update 61, the signature quest line, the Plane of War, and Beast Lords. That's going to be really cool. And the dynamic dungeons. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
And we're back from being dorks.
God, Paul plays a lot of video games.
I know! It's like a list longer than almost when Linda's in here and telling us how many games she's been
He
playing.
plays Pokemon.
Well, he has a daughter. Or is she not playing?
I don't know.
He didn't mention his daughter.
Okay, well, who knows? We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
So what are you playing?
Yeah, what are we playing?
I had to think about this one because I knew this was coming up, and I was like, oh no, what do I have to tell them that I'm playing now? And the honest answer is I've been playing Tetris.
Tetris!
On my phone.
Wow.
I have a lot of doctor's appointments and a lot of sitting
okay.
around waiting time.
Yeah.
And Tetris is just, I don't know, like, I had a summer of Tetris, like, between...
That sounds like a song.
I know.
The Summer of Tetris.
Yes. Between,
You could change it to gems, and it could be your EQ fan spot.
yeah, between, like, 6th grade and 7th grade, I think, I pretty much every day went upstairs to the computer room and played Tetris. I was, like, so hooked on it, to the point, when you go to bed at night and watch the blocks falling.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Uh-huh, and we've all been there.
Yes.
So, yeah, I don't know, I just got hooked on it again.
I've been playing a lot of EQ, too.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.